Let's take a look at some proportions for this lesson here. Proportions are just a pair of ratios set up to solve. If we look at this example, we have 15 over x equals 20 over 32. Some of the proportions we've seen before has been very easy to see a relationship between the numbers and solve for them. These, it's a little bit more difficult. One way I like to solve for them is doing the cross products to come up with an equation. If we did the cross products here, we would get 20 times x equals 15 times 32. Well, we should know that 20 times x is 20x. If we solve for 15 times 32, we get 480. And then it's just a matter of dividing both sides by 20. You can drop a 0 off there. So 48 divided by 2, x equals 24. And so that's how we can solve for proportions. Let's take a look at one more example. Let's say I had this problem, x over 1 2/10, we'll bring a decimal into it, equals 6 over 4. Again, I like to solve using cross products because we don't have a very nice relationship between 1 2/10 and 4. So this gives me 4x equals 6 times 1 2/10. Remember, parentheses side by side indicate multiplication. So I get 4x equals 7 2/10. So now I want to divide both sides by 4. And so x is going to equal 1 8/10. So this is an example of how we solve for proportions. Using these cross products to always come up with the equation is always a surefire way to solve for proportions, even when you don't see the obvious relationship. Now, if I solved for a proportion such as, just come up with one off the top of my head here, let's say 2 over x equals 4 over 8. Well, I know 2 times 2 gives me 4. So if I want to solve for x, I can just divide 8 by 2 the other way, and that's going to give me 4. So x is equal to 4 in this case. So a lot of times you can see that direct relationship and solve for the numbers that way. But in a case where we don't have that, we can still do the cross products, and we can even apply it here and get 4x equals 16, divide both sides by 4. X is still equal to 4, which is a good thing, because if it didn't, we'd have some problems. So you can either use the cross products, or if you see the immediate relationship, you can use that. But the good thing about the cross products is it's always going to work, it's always going to be there, and coming up with those equations is always going to be a surefire way to solve for your missing variable within the proportion. Good luck.